8. Weitang produced 4 Orion seats at one time, and it's not bad in the mold. So many students are directly confused. I don't know which one is which, and I don't know much about the functions between them. Although the official gave such a picture to distinguish the 4 tiger hunters. But in my experience in the past few days, I found that just such a picture, there is no way to distinguish some of the differences in details between them. So let's take a look at this today. Which of the 4 handles is best for you? They are Orion Wired, Orion XBOX Wired, Orion True Wireless PC version, and Orion True Wireless NS version. For a more convenient narrative, the following will be referred to as the cable version, SPOX version, PC version. The NS version is first and foremost a difference in appearance. To put it bluntly, that is, the molds used in these 4 handles are almost identical. Even the color scheme is the same, black and white powder. The only difference is that compared to the SPOX version, there are more than 3 other machines: headphone jack and microphone switch. In addition, this watermelon key. The NS version and the PC version have an extra base, so it can be more beautiful in terms of storage. Some color-changing light strip stickers that come with the first release can also make the white lights more gorgeous. Do you think it looks good? All 4 controllers support PC connection because of the different focus. Therefore, the layout of the action parts of the NS version adopts the same scheme as the old platform. The other 3 are all SPOX layouts, that is, PC layouts. Support for NS is more interesting. In addition to the NS version that can be connected more easily like the NS Pro controller, the PC and wired versions only support dock mode, and it doesn't support somatosensory yet. Wake and Elite software. Both true wireless can be connected via 2.4G gear switch. At this time, it will be better than the Bluetooth connection in terms of latency. Xbox does not support NS at all, but it supports Xbox. Although Hachieto has always liked to play NTR, but after all, it can't be too much, right? Because the 4 instructions use the same mold, so there is not much difference in terms of feel. But because only the SPOX version of the Holban machine, the other 3 are all conductive rubber for the press, so in terms of the feel of the flight, I personally prefer the SPOX version. In addition, because of the SPOX license, so it has also become the only handle among the 4 tiger hunters that supports trigger vibration. Therefore, in terms of comprehensive feel, or the SPOX version is better. The other 3 can be said to be completely identical. As for the performance of functions, the 4 cakes also showed different focuses. Because the SPOX version is a Microsoft licensed version, so wired is inevitable. It is also impossible to carry functions such as continuous redness. The remaining 3 can be said to be exactly the same in terms of functionality. But the PC version and NS version are known as true wireless collection. Most of the bases are particularly important. In the last PC version review, I talked about the creativity of this base. Because the storage port in the base itself is a USB port. So when the handle is connected to the computer, there is no need to plug the receiver into a separate computer. Even if it is kept in the base, it does not affect the connection when stored. You can even use the base as a USB extension cable. Bring the handle closer to the receiver. Features of automatic disconnection and automatic connection for charging. In addition to being able to optimize the player's experience, it can also reduce the interference between wireless devices to a certain extent. Can be said that it kills 2 birds with 1 stone. In fact, this technology is nothing new in the field of mice. But for the first time, Bavatang applied this concept to the handle, because it is different from Sony and Microsoft's charging base. Bavatang made a very good connection between this base and the handle body. So from my personal perspective for this function, if possible, consider the true wireless version, because the experience it brings is really worth it. Next, let's disassemble the machine and take a look in terms of internal workmanship. All 4 handles are very well done. In terms of workmanship, there is no difference in the encirclement of the hull. But the trade-offs in terms of materials are more knowledgeable. First of all, in the choice of motor, although the model of the 4 handles is the same, however, the SPOX version of the array hammer is a little smaller than the standard size. The other 3 are not much different from the size of the SPOX controller's native pendulum. This is a bit intriguing. The main control chip of the 4 handles has a residual rate of 10 bits, because the death of the joystick will still have a certain impact. Next, let's take a look at the 8 guards for these ones. The main differences between the handles are in the parts. Because the NS version is the most expensive, so in terms of materials it is also the best of these 4 handles. The joystick also uses Galigia's Hall joystick. It is directly full in terms of service life. The PC and SPOX versions use Alpine carbon mold rods. The cheapest wired version is the carbon mold rod of empty silver. The ranking of active life is roughly like this. It is not good. Hall cartridges are much larger than Alpine carbon molds. The rod is larger than or equal to the hollow silver carbon mold rod, because the official number of Alps and Sky Silver's TMU Demon Sense is 2 million times. In terms of triggers, the Spox version uses the best Hall triggers. The other three are all rod conductive adhesives. I feel that Babatang must hate potentiometer triggers very much, because in all the instructions of the Boy Hall that I have dismantled, the trigger of the potentiometer scheme has never been seen. If you rank it from the point of view of feel, it is the Hallband machine is larger than the potentiometer, the trigger is larger than the pressure rod, and the conductive pin is larger. Because the Holban aircraft is a pure magnetic induction solution, so the adjustability of the feel is almost 100%. The potentiometer itself has a certain friction. In terms of adjustability of the feel, it is weaker than the Hall class. As for the conductive rubber of the pressure rod, the adjustable space is really not very large. But if you rank it in terms of service life, this means that the Holban machine is larger than the pressure rod, and the EG is larger than the potentiometer trigger. In addition to the joystick and the flight, in terms of battery, Babatang has also been stabbed, because the Spox version and the wired version do not require batteries. So this part of the cost is not at all. But the two true wireless versions are different. The NS version uses a 1000 mAh battery. The PC version is only 480 mAh. After all, the Hall joystick consumes more power. There is another important difference. Is the Bluetooth chip. Both the NS version and the Xbox version have a built-in Bluetooth chip. Players can connect their mobile phones to debug the controller while playing. The PC version and wired version do not have a built-in Bluetooth chip. You can only adjust meals through the computer. The above content is the main difference between the four handles in terms of internal usage. Remaining PCB thickness, the fullness and workmanship of the solder joints are basically the same. Finally, let's take a look at the tuning of the joystick follower. Here is a correction of a mistake in the previous video. True wireless PC version after turning on the no-death mode can achieve a true state of non-death. It is this state of non-death that is more difficult to open. After we pull the effective range of the joystick from 0 to 100 in the operating software, you also need to click on the center of the lower right corner to close the joystick, click to die, then click on the synchronous channel device in the upper right corner. Finally, press the configuration key of the handle. After the first light under the configuration key is turned on, is the real turn on the no-death mode. I have to say that this setup is indeed a bit cumbersome. So in the last video, I didn't turn on the real no-death mode correctly, but after opening, we can see the true wireless PC version of Babatang can really die a little. There is no difference between not leaving this level of training and Xbox. But what I didn't expect was that the joystick tuning of these four controllers is actually different. There are no cross-shaped dead zones, but the difference in other aspects is relatively large. The true wireless PC version we just mentioned is the best of these. In addition, it is the PC wired version, can also achieve theoretical dead zones. The fly in the ointment is because of algorithm problems. The sample rate near the center point is a bit low. There will be a very slight jitter. But this level of indifference, for FPS Chushi it is already harmless. This is followed by the Spox version. This tuning level is almost the same as Babatang's previous joystick tuning. The jitter is more serious. The outer ring is slightly larger than the other models, but the outer circle dies. The impact on the game is not very large. The NS version of the one with the worst tuning among the four models, I didn't expect it, right? It turned out to be the most collapsed center point of this Hall joystick. Dead zone. Even if it is closed, there will be a more obvious dead zone. In the communication with the technicians of the Weitang, I learned that the main reason is they are not very familiar with Hall's rocker algorithm at this stage. In the future, we will continue to update the firmware to continuously use the redundancy algorithm. So don't complain about the PC version not going to Hall anymore. It seems that the main reason is here, because NS Games has no requirements for non-death. After all, Lauren himself forcibly added a center point on NS to die. So if you don't play, in fact, the PC platform is also not dead. Generally speaking, the ranking of the four controller joystick tuning should be the PC version, larger than the cable version, larger than the Spox version, larger than the NS version. See this? I believe that students already have a general understanding of these four handles. Here is my personal advice: if you are an FPS player, then the PC version is preferred, and this time the polishing of Weitang is really excellent. It doesn't affect anything at all. Although the cable version is a little shaky compared to before, it's really a big improvement. It doesn't have much of an impact on FPS games. For non-FPS PC players, my first recommendation is the true wireless PC version. Although the wired version is really cheap, but the experience of the true wireless dock is really good. The 480 mAh battery with a wireless base is enough to ensure battery life. And the design concept of this base really can't go back after experiencing it. Unless you don't care if there is a line or not. The Spox version is more suitable for those who have a trigger vibration, and players who need a headphone jack microphone, and don't care about cable, or use it as a secondary controller for your Spox. The highest-end NS version can be said to be the best choice for NS players. After all, NS has its own center point and is dead. The impact in the near future stage is not very large. At the same time, it can also take care of both. PC. However, on the PC platform, you may have to adapt to this reverse layout.